youth men. In today's video, we're going to be swapping out the Marantz SR 8015 AVR that was sent in for review with Marantz's brand new AV7706 dedicated processor. Now, if you're not familiar with the differences between an AVR, which is an audio-video receiver, and a dedicated processor,
that I appreciate you guys just about every video I try to. So things like this make me really happy. So I try to show that I appreciate you guys just about every video I try to.
I could have sworn I just heard Youthman's voice in here.
I'm going to announce the winner of
Did I hear Youthman's voice? No, I'm just watching Kpaceguy.
But when you add us far away from each other to give you that musical separation, you want that same.
Alright, my friends, we are back, and we are at the Audio House Smart House. This is the first video I'm shooting from here. Boots on the ground, actually living in the Audioholic Smart House. As you can see, I got a ton of boxes left. If you think this
And of course, I'm not going to tell you what it is. You just have it sharper, a little bit better. I hear things that I didn't want to.
Did I just hear Audioholics? No, still watching Kpaceguy. Weirdo.
Issues out of anything more. Are interested in the next coming updates for the computer? Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel because I will be
That was a close one.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's that home theater dude. Got a brand new episode for you. I'll give you one hint.
Got you. I knew it. I knew I heard you watching other YouTubers in here other than Kpaceguy. No, please, please. It was just one video. Oh, I knew. It was just one video. Just one video. About watching other YouTubers in the house. I told you I need the money. I need the views and subscribers. What do you think you're doing? You're lying to me about it. I can't believe it. I can't believe this. Watching other YouTubers in my house. You have using my Wi-Fi.
Yo, Kpaceguy, here what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and today I want to share with you guys a few secrets about home theater that you didn't know. Now, these secrets are aimed towards making your home theater just be the best home theater that it can be. Whether that's increasing your sound quality, making it look better, whatever the case is, all of the above. So these secrets are going to be for those who may not be aware of them, that's going to help your home theater in the long run. Now, before we continue, I must say, the intro in the beginning, it was not shots fired at any of the YouTubers. You are not entitled to watch me only. Please, please, please don't do that. Youthman, That Home Theater Dude, The Villa Man, Audioholics, all these names are great channels and they're even greater people. So the beginning skit was just a funny skit just to make you laugh. No shots fired. I love all those guys. So please, if you're not subscribed to their channels, please go and watch and subscribe to them because they make great content. Now, with that being said, let's get right into the video. Alright, so getting right into it, the first secret I'm going to share with you guys is OCC wiring. Now, my car audio guys, we talk about OCC wiring all the time. OCC stands for oxygen-free copper. Speaker wire, or wire in general, is not created equal. The cheaper wire you see is CCA wire. It's regular copper wire. But OFC, oxygen-free copper, is a wire that's usually a little bit more thicker, a little more durable, more efficient, and does better with transferring power, especially at long wire lengths. So what does this mean? When you plug an OFC wire to an amplifier to a speaker, you transfer more of that power, especially within a long line. So more of the watts that you're looking for makes it to the speaker itself. In terms of car audio, you usually have oxygen-free copper coming from your battery to your amp. What that means for you is that more of that power from that battery is making it to your amp versus CCA wire. So in home theater world, more power is making it from your receiver or amplifier to your speaker. So it may not be audible to you, but I promise you, your speakers are going to love it. It's something that you can't necessarily hear. That's an improvement, but the way your speaker operates and performs within itself, your speaker is going to thank you for the oxygen-free copper. So if you're not using oxygen-free copper or something like this here, this is audio pipe. I think there's plenty of stuff on Amazon or something. Find yourself some oxygen-free copper because it's going to help your system be more efficient at what it does and transfer power and all that good stuff. Alright, so the next secret that I want to tell you guys is about power conditioners. And power conditioners are not the same as power surge protectors like this is. A power conditioner does a lot of things other than just protect your system. Now, power surges, the little power strips, they are good for protecting your system from maybe a lightning strike or a storm or something like that, or a random jolt of voltage through your wall. But they don't condition the power before it reaches your system. Power conditioners clean up the power before it reaches your AV receiver or your amplifiers and lowers the noise floor within the system. A lot of times people say when they turn up their volume after a certain level, they can kind of hear like a static or a buzz. A lot of times you can eliminate that noise with a power conditioner. Not only do power conditioners condition your power, but they also act as surge protectors and backup batteries, which is nice. Mine does all of that. So sometimes when the power goes out after a really bad storm, I do have a few hours of battery power so I can plug in whatever I want to for a few hours while I wait for the electricity to come back on. So it's really good if you have buzz or static in your system, but it's really good just not to feed your system a whole bunch of dirty power because the speakers will produce that noise. You usually hear that static or that buzz when nothing is playing, and that's the static that you hear from your condition or from your power not being conditioned. So if you don't have a power conditioner, I recommend getting one, especially if you're heavily invested into home theater and your products are very, very expensive.
All right, so the next secret is going to be about placing your speakers ear level. Ear level is the secret. Now, this is one of the most important things to try to get correct that most people don't really think about when they set up their home theater. The point of having your speakers ear level, especially the front stage, is to get a center image. You really get good separation, get a stereo image that makes sense. When all your speakers are at different levels, it changes the way the brain perceives that sound, and it changes how you interpret where things are within the room, or in this case, where the movie is placing those objects. So it's very important to get your speakers ear level. Now, it's okay to be a little bit above head, but it's probably arguably not okay to be a little bit underneath your ears. And that's just, again, because you want imaging to be correct. You want to hear what you see, or it plays a trick on you. So you get speakers and speaker stands like this that are usually about ear level height when you're sitting in your listening position. Now, of course, all of us aren't the same height. So some people are really tall and they have a long torso, so they sit higher, or maybe you're a shorter person, so you sit lower. Maybe your couch is higher or lower, whatever the case is. But it's best to try to get your speakers at your level or just slightly above it so that your stereo imaging and your perception of sound is the way the engineer or the artist intended it to be. So these speaker stands that I have now are about 20 inches tall. My speakers maybe another 20 inches or a little bit less than that. So it's not a bad stand at all. It really puts it close to ear level. And my floor standing speakers have the tweeters right at ear level too. So it really adds to the sweetness of the sound, and it makes it more directional, which is kind of what you want to have your tweeters to be, is directional. You want them to be fired at your ear so that things sound the way that they are intended. So if your speakers aren't ear level, give it a try. See if you can adjust a little bit of it to get it more ear level. You will find that your sound is more direct and more intentional, more spacious sounding, a little less dispersed maybe. And then you may find it to be a little more clearer. You may find the treble to increase, maybe a little more high end comes back to you. And things just overall to sound a little bit crisper and tighter and more cohesive. So if you haven't put your speakers ear level, I recommend giving it a try because it will change how your system sounds. All right, next secret we're talking about is about speaker toe-in. And what that means is when you angle your speakers in to make a perfect triangle, and the point being where you are gonna sit on your listening position. Now, toe-in is a tricky thing because not all speakers need it, or maybe it's not suitable for your listening position or your environment. We'll talk about both. So most people say to toe in your speakers ever so slightly so that the tweeters point directly to where you're sitting at and you are the tip of that triangle. Now, if you have really bright speakers, you may not want to do that. When you angle your speakers in pointed towards the listening position, what you're doing is getting those tweeters to fire directly towards your ears, just like we kind of talked about with the ear level. Kind of the same concept. You toe in your speakers and you get the tweeters to go straight either past your ears or right at them to help with stereo imaging and separation and such. But if you have really bright speakers or you feel like your speakers are too harsh, if you toe away your speakers and make them more straight than they are angled, you kind of diffuse some of that higher end sound. And that could take away from some of your harshness that you may be hearing or the bright sound that you may not like. My speakers are toed in because I just love the sound of the Canton tweeter. Now let's say I didn't. Let's say I thought it was way too harsh. Now I can either go in and EQ that out, or I can first attempt to toe them outwards again, turn them from this way to this way, more straight, and then that should diffuse a lot of the harshness. Now, it may not completely take it away, but it definitely will lower how your ears perceive the higher range. So if you have speakers that you think are a little harsh or a little bright or a little too much on the treble, try to tow them away from your ear. Not completely this way, keep them at least forward, but try to point them away from your ear a little bit so that the sound kind of passes by instead of hits you right at the ear. And it may improve the way that your speakers sound. Vice versa as well. If you think that you need a little more high end, point them a little more towards your ears, and you may get some of that sound back. It's definitely worth a try.
My last secret is going to be about LED light strips. Now, LED light strips are just simply cool. They add a nice aesthetic to the home theater, gives you a nice ambient lighting, and it really just makes everything kind of come together. But you may not know that LED lights have a different purpose than just aesthetics. Alexa, turn on the living room lamp. LED light strips take the strain away from your eyes when you're watching a TV show or a movie in pure darkness. Now, if you didn't know, and most likely you do, your pupils get bigger and smaller depending on how much light is coming in. Your pupils are pretty much lenses, just like you find on a camera. The more light that you have in the room or outside, the smaller your pupils are, because it doesn't need to bring in all of that light. Now, it's vice versa in the darkness. The darker it is, the more open your pupils will be, the bigger your lens will be to accept more light. Now, if you're sitting in a dark room with a TV blaring at you, you see that it's dark, but you also see the whole bunch of light flooding in from the TV, and that can cause a lot of strain on your eyes. Now, I know when you were younger, your mom told you don't sit too close to the TV, and that still stands today as a young adult. Big screens like this or a big bright television can really hurt your eyes after a long time of watching. So it's nice to have LED light strips at least around the TV, if not around most of the room, or some sort of ambient light, so that there's still a little bit of light coming into the room so that your eyes don't strain so much on the big beam of light coming from the television. If you're somebody who watches movies a lot or watches TV a lot in a pitch black room or a pretty dark room, you may find it more beneficial and a little more or a little less fatiguing if you have lights on, LED light strips, ambient lights on in the room when watching. It just helps your eyes from straining and lets you watch TV or movies a little bit longer than maybe you would have. So if you don't have LED light strips around your television, your projector screen, or in your room somewhere, I do recommend getting some, because not only does it really look cool and you can change the colors and make it whatever you want to, it also helps your eyes in the long run. Alright guys, so that's gonna do it for these little secrets that I have for your home theater. Now what I want you guys to do is go down below in the comment section and leave me some of your secrets that you use in your own home theater. Now of course, a lot of people may know this already, but there's some who don't. So please go down below and educate some of us who aren't sure what to do with their home theaters. It helps out a lot more than you know. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe if not already, and we'll see you in the next one. Kpaceguy out. Peace.